Hello, I just wanted to share a method that I've been playing around with this morning for trying to change certain behaviors, and build new habits. It's partially inspired by the Jobs to be Done framework, which is mostly applied for business and innovation, but I think I found a unique way to implement it into more personal goals too. So, um, to begin with, let's say if we have an example of, if we have the example of, um, I want to start going to the gym. So I already go to the gym, but this is just for the sake of something that everyone maybe can at least somewhat relate to, right? So um, if you just say, I'm going to this behavior today, without putting it into context, it makes it much more difficult to actually stick to that commitment. And then you end up losing trust in your own word, which is absolutely essential to keep. So um, one approach, I'm just going to turn this off. So, one approach is to add the outcome to the end and kind of envision not just what you want to do, but why you want to do it. So, really reflecting on what's the benefit of doing this behavior. So, if I go to the gym, it will cause me to feel energetic afterwards, and kind of visualizing that element of the positive outcome um, that the effort brings. But then also not just thinking about the outcome, but also specifically defining um, what's the context. So, for example, if I'm uh, just woken up, it's the morning, and I feel drowsy, I'm connecting the drowsiness to the feeling of energetic and making it super concrete by tying it to a time and a place. I'm cycling to the office in the morning before I start work. So, this sets you up for a much better chance of success by simply looking at the context, looking at the intended outcome, and then putting that behavior within that more broader context, I guess. So yeah, this can also be applied for trying to understand an existing behavior to then try to replace it with something that's perhaps more beneficial. So for example, instead of just thinking, okay, I currently watch YouTube and I want to watch less of it, perhaps um, the news is I feel like I'm wasting time watching this news that's not really within the control of my life. I want to reduce the amount of time I spend on things like that. Also, can be kind of a suck of your attention. It can make it harder to then delay gratification if you're watching too much YouTube. So instead of just saying I'm going to watch less YouTube, you can think of, okay, in what case do I most often watch YouTube? And it's when I'm tired after work, right? And um, then looking at what I'm trying to achieve with it, I'm trying to unwind and fulfill my curiosity. So why this is helpful is you might otherwise try to do something like, just say, I'm going to start reading a book before bed. But if what you're trying to achieve in the evening is unwinding and you're feeling really tired, then you might end up being really motivated for some shorter period of time and then kind of not sustaining the habit over a longer period. Um, might be difficult to even start that habit. You might end up just getting home and just defaulting to watching YouTube instead and having yo-yos in progress. So I might try to do something like go for a walk, but again, I'm too tired to be walking around. I prefer to sit down. So we can use this context to inform a different approach of trying to go and sit instead of walk. Instead of read a book, listen to a podcast. This way, it's more unwinding, it's more low effort. It feels, it still feels the curiosity, and by sitting, it's not something that we might feel not energetic enough, like going for a walk. So, by taking this approach and taking it even further, of defining the specific time and place. So right after work, while I'm cycling back home, on the way back home, there's a park. I'm just going to sit outside in the park for, I don't know, half an hour, listen to a podcast before coming back home instead of watching YouTube. So that way I'm replacing it, but still fulfilling the same needs and still matching that context. I think this way it's more likely for you to be able to successfully alter your behavior. Another example of using this method slightly differently is, let's have a look at watching YouTube in the morning. So at this point, it's slightly different. I want to just entertain my sleeping brain. I'm half awake. I've just turned off the alarm and I'm lying in bed. At that point, that's a pretty awful place to start scrolling on YouTube or on any sort of social media. So instead of trying to keep the outcomes and the context the same, what we can try to do is specifically change the context to change the rest of the flow because each step here naturally flows into um, one another, right? So what we can do here instead is if we are change instead of in my bed, if we have barcodes in different locations. So let's say we have a alarm on our phone that continually rings until we scan a barcode. And this barcode you can leave anywhere outside. So you can, take some old product that you're going to burn anyway, leave that in some place either outside or in a different room that you have to scan. And the app I use for this is called Alarmy, which is pretty good, but I don't like the cookie settings. Piss me off. Anyways, so um, this has, in my experience, been a really good trick to kind of begin the trigger to changing other behaviors. So once I'm outside, I get that vitamin D in my eyes, which then causes me to be like pretty awake. Like it's, I'm not 100%, but just being outside to turn off my alarm makes me so much more um energized when compared to lying in bed in that prone position, right? Which then means I can go and try to change the next behavior because it naturally flows. Okay, I'm already outside. How about from going outside? So to go outside and turn off my alarm code, sorry, my barcode, to turn off my alarm with my barcode, I need to put on some clothes. So I've got like a 5 minute snooze. Um, I turn off my alarm in the garden with my shoes on. Then afterwards, right away, from this point, I can then um, cycle to gym. And the point is that it doesn't even have to be get to the gym or work out. It's just as long as I change the context, I'm outside, I get that vitamin D, I get energetic, and then that naturally flows into a different behavior because the context is different. I cycle to the gym. I don't even need to think about getting to the gym. It's just as soon as I cycle, naturally it will happen that I'm going to exercise through the cycle and also through the gym. I'll just leave it at that. And then that means I get the outcome uh, later on of um, feeling more. So, so here you can kind of see where you're looking at this like chain of events instead of just looking at, oh, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to exercise. You plan out this sequence of like, okay, I'm going to turn off my alarm outside, be already dressed, cycle to the gym, exercise, and feel energetic at the end of it, and get out of it way sooner, start work sooner, have a longer day. So, kind of looking at the flow of actions and how each action impacts one another, I think can be super helpful in actually implementing behavioral change and adopting new habits. So I hope that someone found this useful. Please let me know if you have any other ideas to add to this. I'm all ears to learn from your experiences too. And I wish you the best of luck. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.